Rodan is my number one favorite Godzilla kaiju beside Godzilla himself. Because he's such a badass pterosaurus kaiju. In Japanese, Rodan is called Rodan, which comes from radiation pteranodon or radioactive pteranodon. Rodan has a special place in my heart. He's one of the first kaiju I fell in love with when I got into Godzilla franchise back in the early 2010. I was first introduced to Rodan in the Heisei era Godzilla film, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 1993, and later, in the PlayStation 2 games, Godzilla Save the Earth. Mini-Me went absolutely nuts after discovering that a cool flying monster like Rodan actually exists. And mini version of me in the past immediately said, yeah, this is my favorite now. Anyway, do any of you guys remember what Godzilla fanbase was like in the early 2010s? Before the Monsterverse even exists? Yeah, those were simpler times. The community wasn't toxic. No endless debates about which Godzilla was the strongest or better. And barely any of those questionable Godzilla x Mothra fan arts. Ugh. Everything felt peaceful. The only things fans argued about how bad Godzilla 1998 is. No hate to Zilla though. Its design is still one of the coolest ever made. And the movie was okay for me. Monster Island Buddies was still the number one Godzilla channel that day. But we're not here to talk about that. Let's get back to Rodan. Rodan has always been my favorite Godzilla kaiju right next to Godzilla himself. As the number one Rodan fan, and seeing Goji Center announce an art contest featuring Rodan himself, I grabbed my ass up and joined the art contest. And here we are in the Procreate app. Without further ado, I immediately start creating my Evolve Rodan. Here, I want to make my Evolve Rodan still retain his usual form as Rodan, and not change him too drastically. Yeah, just like Evolve Godzilla, which only altered his body proportion, changed his dorsal spine, and add some Tagomizer. My Evolve Rodan can be also called Fire Rodan. Yep, just a little callback to Heisei era Godzilla film, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 1993, aka my very first ever Godzilla film that I ever watched. If you can see, I add 3 horns to my Evolve Rodan to make him look similar to his Heisei counterpart. I add extra scales that grow into blade-like shapes on my Evolve Rodan wings. Yeah, if you're Monster Hunter fans and play the game like me, no, not the one from Roblox, then you probably know which monster I got inspiration from. Nargacuga, Astalos, and the one that really inspired me to add blade-like wings to my Evolve Rodan is one and the only Radow, the newest monster from the recent Monster Hunter game Monster Hunter Wilds. I'd say my Evolve Rodan design will have a strong Monster Hunter vibes, but I'm not going to remove the core elements of the Monsterverse itself. Speaking of Monster Hunter, who is your favorite monster? Please leave a comment down below. I have my own top 10 favorite Monster Hunter monsters. Amatsu, Ibushi, Narwa, Fatalis, Mizutsune, Lagiacrus, Falstrax, Glavenus, Nargacuga, and Gokmazios. Hey, those of you who are playing Monster Hunter Wilds, what do you think about Gokmazios making a return in the game? Damn right. For me, he looks as peak as the last time I saw him. Also, yeah, we all know that Space Godzilla will return in Godzilla X Kong Supernova. Alright, let's switch our topic to the Monsterverse now. Space Godzilla has always been my #1 favorite Godzilla villain, alongside Hedorah and King Ghidorah. I can't wait to see him in action with a brand new CGI look. I'm Supernova excited, and I'm also planning to make some Godzilla X Kong Supernova animation soon. So stay tuned, please subscribe. Now we're back to our evolved Rodan. As you can see, I colored my evolved Rodan to be much redder than usual. The reason is to create a callback to Fire Rodan from the Heisei era. Another reason is that my evolved Rodan body temperature is now many times hotter than before, which is why his magma scales have turned much more redder than before. My evolved Rodan's body is completely engulfed in fire, meaning any other titans that want to touch him would have to think twice, or their skin would blister in the moment they make contact with the evolved Rodan. Oh ho ho! Kong won't be able to grab Rodan like he did in the Justice League comic, even with his beast glove. Kong will turn into Wagyu A5 within seconds if he touches evolved Rodan. Yeah, respect my boy Rodan. Toho Kaiju aka the original on top. Sounds like glazing to y'all, huh? This is just me not accepting that my childhood favorite monster, the one I've loved for almost 17 years, has been treated like trash. Okay, Rodan fans, let's just hope that if Rodan returned in Supernova, they gave him some redemption. I want him to have a moment with Godzilla, fighting together just like in the Showa or Heisei era. I just want the Monsterverse to treat Rodan as a strong titan, like an alpha, just like the other Toho Kaiju. Don't ask me why I added Kong here. I already explained that before. Another reason is that I want my evolved Rodan to now have power equal to evolved Godzilla himself. I present this artwork from a Rodan fan to fellow Rodan fans. Anyway, what do you guys wish to see in Godzilla X Kong Supernova? One of my wishes, the return of Space Godzilla, has already been granted. My other wishes, I really want the classic Ifukube's team to return. I know Henry Jackman will be composing Supernova, but wouldn't it be absolutely peak to hear Henry Jackman take on a remade Ifukube Godzilla soundtrack? If they decide to use an original soundtrack instead, I really hope Henry Jackman can create something far better than Junkie XL's work. I'm not a huge fan of Junkie XL Monsterverse soundtracks. Most of them sounds generic and mediocre to me. Junkie XL is easily my least favorite composer in the Monsterverse. Another one of my biggest wishes is that Godzilla gets significantly more screen time than Kong. I truly hope Godzilla X Kong Supernova becomes Godzilla-centered film, where he stands at the core of the narrative rather than sharing equals focus. Another one of my wishes is that Rodan returns and finally get his redemption. I know this is the second time I've said this, but come on, my boy Rodan deserves his moment to shine. He's been sidelined for far too long. Rodan needs to shine like fire, because he's the one born of fire. I've been yapping about Rodan and Godzilla X Kong Supernova for like 10 minutes and didn't even realize that my evolved Rodan is already done and ready to take flight and dominate the skies. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the part that everyone and every power scale are waiting for. It's time to tell how my own interpretation of Evolve Rodan evolved. And it's time to tell how strong he truly is. My interpretation of Evolve Rodan, also known as Fire Rodan, is that he evolved by migrating into regions with extremely high concentration of uranium. Rodan explores an uncharted area inside the Hollow Earth unknown to Monarch itself, a place saturated with intense radiation and rich in uranium deposits. There, he migrates into an active volcano within the region, absorbing vast amount of uranium energy. Once Rodan reaches 100% evolutionary completion, his skin turns as much deeper shade of red, and his volcanic armor becomes even harder and sharper. His body temperature increased far beyond its previous level, allowing him to store significantly more energy than before. Large blade-like volcanic scales grow on both of his wings, superheated structure capable of cutting through almost anything, even inflicting fatal damage on Godzilla hard skins. His flight speed also increased, and his legs become bulkier, giving Rodan the strength to seize his enemies and carry them high into the sky. Rodan now possesses devastating power. He can unleash an energy attack known as the Uranium Hit Ray, a blast strong enough to rival Godzilla's atomic breath. At this stage, Rodan can be considered a titan whose power is on par with Evolved Godzilla itself. He's now stronger than both Kong and Mothra, making Rodan become an alpha that he always wanted to be. After his ass got bitten many times in every Monsterverse media, Rodan is now the ruler and the true kings of the skies. No one can touch him anymore, and he has become a powerful ally to Godzilla. Alright everyone, that's pretty much it for these videos about the Evolve Rodan I made. If you're wondering whether I've already submitted my artwork, the answer is yes. You can actually see it featured on Goji Center Rodan livestream at 47 minutes and 11 seconds. Right now, all I can do is hope that my Evolve Rodan designs wins this contest. Of course, I'm not setting my expectation too high, but I'm still really proud of my work. I can 100% confirm that I'll be using this Evolve Rodan on my upcoming Godzilla x Kong Supernova fan animation. So, stay tuned. Before I end this video, I want to say huge thank you to all of you who have supported my channel from the very beginning. Not many people know this, but I actually started YouTube back in 2012 and I began making animation content in 2016. Unfortunately, all of that was lost when my original channel got hacked. Still, I'm incredibly grateful for my 18,000 subscribers. You guys are absolutely epic. And this number is almost on par with my old channel that I lost. With that said, thank you so much for watching my final videos of 2025. There will be plenty more animation content and video like this coming in 2026. So, don't forget to like, comment, share, hype these videos 3 times, and subscribe. Happy holiday everyone! Merry Christmas and Happy New Year! Hardy Maximus out!